Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Devim Saraswatim Namaste Sarvadveshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Bhagavati Naistaki Karoti Vachalam Kripa Tamaham Mande Shri Natarinam Jnanatimirandasya Chakshuram Nama Vishnu Padaya Krishna Namaste Bhakti Swami Namini Namaste Saraswate Deve Gaurani Pracharani Vishesha Shunyavadi Pashyate Deshatarani Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sadi Gaura Bhakta
Hare Krishna,
Krishna 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 Hare
Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama Hare
Rama,
Rama
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 Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna. Welcome all for Bhagavatam study. So which sloka today? 30?
38, Mataji, Prabhuji.
Okay. So,
Sloka number 38.
I'm going to read 38.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Mataji, go ahead.
Yes. First canto, chapter 5, text 38. Narada's instruction and Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Iti murti abhidhanena mantra murtim amurtikam yajate yajna purusham sa samyak darshana puman. Translation. Thus, he is the actual seer who worships in the form of transcendental sound representation, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vishnu, who has no material form. Purport. Our present senses are all made of material elements and therefore they are imperfect in realizing the transcendental form of Lord Vishnu. He is therefore worshipped by sound representation via the transcendental method of chanting. Anything which is beyond the scope of experience by our imperfect senses can be realized fully by the sound representation. A person transmitting sound from a far distant place can be factually experienced. If this is materially possible, why not spiritually? This experience is not a vague impersonal experience. It is actually an experience of the transcendental personality of Godhead who possesses the pure form of eternity, bliss and knowledge. In the Amarakosha Sanskrit dictionary, the word Murti carries import in twofold meanings, namely form and difficulty. Therefore, Amurtikam is explained by Acharya Sri Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura as meaning without difficulty. The transcendental form of eternal bliss and knowledge can be experienced by our original spiritual senses, which can be revived by chanting of the holy mantras or transcendental sound representations. Such sound should be received from the transparent agency of the bona fide spiritual master, and the chanting may be practiced by the direction of the spiritual master. That will gradually lead us nearer to the Lord. This method of worship is recommended in the Pancharatrika system, which is both recognized and authorized. The Pancharatrika system has the most authorized codes for transcendental devotional service. Without the help of such codes, one cannot approach the Lord, certainly not by dry philosophical speculation. The Pancharatrika system is both practical and suitable for this age of quarrel. The Pancharatra is more important than the Vedanta for this modern age. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Can you share some points?
Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. In the last verse, it is said that the most confidential part of the instruction is that one should always chant and remember the glories of the Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, along with his different plenary portions expanded as Vasudeva, Shankarshna, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. It is given in the last verse. In this verse, it is given about our present senses. So what is given is, our senses are made of material elements. Since our senses are made of material elements, they are imperfect to know the transcendental form of the Lord. Therefore, what we can do is, therefore, Lord Krishna can be worshipped by sound representation, that is, the meaning is mantras, through the mantras. And through the proper method of chanting, that is transcendental method we should follow to know about Krishna, it is said here. And then one more thing, that Amarikosha Sanskrit dictionary gives twofold meaning to the word Murti. One is, the meaning of Murti is, one is form and another one is difficulty. Our Acharya,
Krishna
our
Chakravarti.
Acharya Srila Vishwanatha Chakravarti Thakura says, the meaning to Amurtikam is without difficulty. So, Murti means form and another meaning difficulty. Amurtika means, here in this book itself it is given formless. So form, opposite formless, difficulty and without difficulty. So without difficulty we can see the God, he says. How can we see the God? Through the mantras. And so what is given is, the transcendental form of the eternal Lord can be experienced by our spiritual senses by receiving the holy mantras, which are sound representations, through a bona fide spiritual master, and practicing the mantras also through the bona fide spiritual master, reciting all the mantras through the chanting through the bona fide spiritual master. So we should follow these two. So this will lead us to God. It is clear that it will lead us to God. So from this purport, what is very clear is, through this way, that is receiving and chanting, one can see the God who is formless. Formless God can be seen by by receiving and chanting through bona fide master. That's all, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Yeah. So one point is clear, that Lord is not formless. Lord has got a form. Lord is a person, has got a form. But if at all, if he want to be formless, he can be. But he's not formless. That is the understanding Prabhupada is making it very clear. But Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur is saying that can be done so easily, without difficulty. The worship of the Lord, in the form, Archa Vigraha form, we can do it so easily. So Lord's real form, if Virat Rupa, if he comes, you cannot even see him, such a gigantic form. But he comes from a small Archa Vigraha form, where we can do a service, like we can bathe Lord with Abhisheka, we can offer Bhoga, and we can decorate with a nice dress, flower, garland. So that is so easy. So Lord receives a service from us in that Archa Vigraha form. That's why Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur is saying that Amurtika, the worship of the Lord, so easy, no difficulty. So, but as Lakshmi Mataji said that, but in Kali Yuga, the best process is chanting the holy name. Even worshipping the deity, the Archa Vigraha form also sometimes is difficult because our own contaminations. But the chanting of the holy name, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is so easy and practical. That's why the Prabhupada is saying sound vibration is so important. With that sound vibration, we have to meditate on the Supreme Lord. So by chanting the holy name, we can meditate and we can worship the Lord. But that's why Prabhupada says the experience is not a vague and impersonal experience, because Lord is a person. So we have to always reciprocate with the Lord. Lord reciprocates like any other individual. Whatever we want to share, Lord also reciprocates. So that's why Prabhupada concludes, this system is both practical and suitable for the age of Kali. So the Pancharatrika Vidhi, that's why generally the people keep the photo of the Lord. That is non-different from the Archa. We can worship the Lord in the photo form. But as soon as we keep Vigraha form, there is certain rules and regulations. We cannot just bring a Lord's form and do it. we need to follow the certain rules and regulations and certain discipline you need to follow. Especially in a temple, there is a lot of conditions are there. At home, you have to maintain a minimum discipline. Whereas for the photo, we don't have to have that, discipline. So the end result is that we have to progress in the bhakti. We have to do more service to the Lord. That's the conclusion here. Okay, 39.
So actually, Shruti Mataji, Prabhuji, I don't, she hasn't come yet.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shruti Mataji hasn't come,
No,
hasn't.
yeah. Yeah, go ahead, read.
Should I read, Prabhuji?
Yeah,
Prabhuji.
go ahead.
Just one. Emam sva nigamam brahmam avidyamad anushchitam adanme jnanam aishwaryam swasmin bhavam cha Kesava. Translation. O Brahmana, thus by the Supreme Lord Krishna, I was endowed first with the transcendental knowledge of the Lord as inculcated in the confidential part of the Vedas. Parts of the Vedas. Then with the spiritual opulences, and then with his intimate loving service. Purport. Communion with the Lord by transmission of the transcendental sound is non-different from the whole spirit Lord Sri Krishna. It is a completely perfect method for approaching the Lord. By such pure contact with the Lord, without offense of material conceptions, numbering 10, the devotee can rise above the material plane to understand the inner meaning of the Vedic literatures. Including the Lord's existence in the transcendental realm. The Lord reveals his identity gradually to one who has unflinching faith, but in the spiritual master and in the Lord. After this, the devotee is endowed with mystic opulences, which are 8 in number. And above all, the devotee is accepted in the confidential entourage of the Lord and is entrusted with specific service of the Lord through the agency of the spiritual master. A pure devotee is more interested in serving the Lord than in showing an exhibition of the mystic powers dormant in him. Sri Narada has explained all this from his personal experience, and one can obtain all the facilities which Sri Narada obtained by perfecting the chanting process of the sound representation of the Lord. There is no bar for chanting this transcendental sound by anyone, provided it is received through Narada's representative coming down by the chain of disciplic succession or the parampara system.
Sorry. Once again. Okay. That's what, no? Stop, no, Mataji.
Finished, Prabhuji.
Okay. Shruti Mataji, you are back. Want to explain?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
No, Mataji.
Yeah, what's...
yeah, she has joined.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, you prepared any points for this, Shloka?
No, I haven't prepared any points, Prabhuji. I was not able to prepare today any points.
Okay, no problem. So here further says, O Brahmana, thus by the Supreme Lord Krishna, I was endowed first with the transcendental knowledge. So Narada is saying to Vyasadeva, here from Lord Krishna only he got the first knowledge and inculcated confidential part of the Vedas. Thus, with the spiritual opulences than by his intimate loving services. So Prabhupada in the purport says, there are pure devotional services, especially for chanting also, there are 10 offenses. Many of you will be knowing that there are, maybe if not, we can go to ISKCON Desire Tree and look for it. There are 10 offenses against the holy name, which we need to know. So there are important, like, following the instructions of a spiritual master or disobeying the instruction of spiritual master is offense. Considering the names of Lord Brahma, Lord Vishnu is equal to Brahma, and Lord Shiva equal to Lord Vishnu is offense. Or chanting the holy name in the, or the doing the materialistic activity and the strength of the holy name is offense. Or preaching to a faithless person who is kind of defame, kind of creating infamy to the Lord, that's offense. And finally, not having a attachment to the holy name, holy name, and but having attachment to the materialistic activity, sense gratification is an offense. Like this, there are 10 offenses are there. So those offenses should be taken care, and we should chant the holy name without any offenses. So further, Prabhupada says that we should have that unflinching faith on a spiritual master and the Lord. The faith is so important. Shraddha, the faith, everything starts from the faith. From the Shraddha only, the Sadhu Sangha happens. From Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Anartha Nivritti, and then Nishta, Bhava, Ruchi, it goes up to Bhava and, Prema. The final stage is Prema. So in the process, there are devotees who people maybe exhibit mystic powers, but a pure devotee does not actually exhibit the mystic powers. Prabhupada writes, a pure devotee is more interested in serving the Lord than showing the exhibition of mystic powers. So, there are possible some people get some siddhi, could be due to meditations or some power they may get, but that power is of no use in front of bhakti. So once so happened that one of the great magician came to Srila Prabhupada's and he showed so many magic, the great an international renowned magician. So then he asked Prabhupada, Swamiji, can you do some magic? Then he said, yes, I did so many magics. I made this American boys and girls to give up everything and make, pure devotee. That's the magic. He asked the magician, can you do that? He said, no. So magician can do some tricks, but what Prabhupada did is impossible to anybody else, because that can be done when the pure devotee only. So the pure devotees, they don't bother for the mystic powers. We can see in the society today, some people do some magic, some ashes, some gold rings, but that is not the ultimate. Ultimate is to take us back to Krishna. That is important. That is the ultimate. There's one story saying that one person went to Himalaya, did so many years of, the training on the walking on the water. He got trained, he can cross a river just walking without swimming. So he came back, he started showing this mystic power to the villagers. The one old man in the village said, your this 25 years of effort is worth 25 paisa for me, he said. Then why you asked? Then he says, I can cross the river with a boat with the 25 paisa. So what is the use of your mystic power? So the point is that Narada is saying that, so that kind of a power not required, but we need to have purity in the heart. Purity in the heart, love for the Krishna. That is ultimate. That's why Prabhupada says that here Narada, we should develop Narada representative. So we should follow that, the mood of Srimad Narada Muni, or the great sages like Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswamis, or Srila Prabhupada. So that mood we should worship. That's a parampara system. In that parampara system, we worship the Lord, we chant the holy name, then our heart is get purified. That's how we can go back to Krishna. That's the mood in which we should go. Can we read one more sloka?
Mariappan Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Yeah, I will read. Tvam Hare Krishna.
Yep.
Tvam ape
Ada.
adabrasruta visrutam vibha samapyate yana vidam bubhusitam prakyati dukkair muhur arditam manam sanklesha nirvanam usanti nanyata. Hare Krishna.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada.
Translation by Bhakti Vedanta,
So,
A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami,
Srila Prabhupada.
Prabhupada Swami. Translation. Please, therefore, describe the Almighty Lord's activities which you have learned by your vast knowledge of Vedas, for that will satisfy the hankerings of great learned men and at the same time mitigate the miseries of the masses of common people who are always suffering from material pangs. Indeed, there is no other way to get out of such miseries. Purport. Sri Narada Muni, from practical experience, definitely asserts that the prime solution of all problems of material work is to broadcast every widely the transcendental glories of the Supreme Lord. There are 4 classes of good men, and there are 4 classes of bad men also. The 4 classes of good men acknowledge the authority of the Almighty God, and therefore such good men, when they are in difficulty, when they are in need of money, when they are advanced in knowledge, and when they are inquisitive to know more and more about God, intuitively take shelter of the Lord. As such, Naradaji advises Vyasadeva to broadcast the transcendental knowledge of God in terms of vast Vedic knowledge which he had already attained. As far as the bad men are concerned, they are also 4 in number. Those who are simply addicted to the mode of progressive, fruitive work and thus are subjected to accompanying miseries. Those who are simply addicted to vicious work for sense satisfaction and so suffer the consequence. Those who are materially very much advanced in knowledge but have no sense to acknowledge the authority of the Almighty Lord and thus suffer a lot. And the class of men who are known as atheists and therefore purposely hate the very name of God, although they are always in difficulty. Sri Narada ji advised Vyasadeva to describe the glories of Lord, just to do good to all the 8 classes of men, both good and bad. Srimad Bhagavatam is therefore not meant for any particular class of men or section. It is the sincere soul who wants actually his own welfare and peace of mind. Thus, the end the Bhakti Vedanta purports of the first canto, 5th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Sri Narada's Instructions on Srimad Bhagavatam for Vyasadeva. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Any points to share, Prabhu?
There are some points I could understand a little bit. Sri Narada Muniji confirms that the first and foremost solution for all difficulties in the materialistic world is to widely spread the transcendental knowledge of Lord. There are 4 categories of good men and another 4 in bad category. those who are in difficulties, in need of money, who are progressing in intelligence, and who are very much interested to know more and more about God and spiritual knowledge. With regard to bad category, those who are addict in fruitive assignments and undergone extreme difficulties, addicted to bad habits, sense gratification, they struggle hard to fulfill their desires, highly equipped with knowledge. However, due to lack of faith in God, continue to undergo difficulties. These are the bad and category of men. Narada ji asked Vyasadeva to explain and highlight the gratification of Lord Krishna to all categories of men without any partiality. This is what I have understood.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. So maybe we'll discuss more about this sloka tomorrow because there are a lot of points to discuss. Now I request devotees to share whatever thoughts of realization today. So we'll cover, Sridhar Mataji, we'll cover this sloka again tomorrow. We'll discuss again and then we'll come to the next chapter tomorrow.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So now devotees can unmute and share any thoughts, any points learning today. Yes. Alphabetic order or how is it? Quickly. Asha Mataji, quickly. We're there. Yes, Mataji.
Prabhuji, what I understood from this is the importance of the sound vibration, that is chanting of the Mahamantra. By chanting on the Mahamantra, we can meditate upon the Lord. That is the way of worshipping, giving our service to God is what I got.
Okay. Archana Mataji, anything? Yes, Archana Mataji, you want to say?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay, okay.
Thank you.
Lakshmi Mataji, anything else want to say?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Please go ahead.
We should have that unflinching faith,
Hmm.
both in the spiritual master and to the Lord.
So,
That is one important. And then we should chant holy name without any offense. That is
yeah.
Prabhuji.
Maybe homework for tomorrow. Everybody can go through the 10 offenses against holy name. We can discuss on the holy name. And also we discuss on this 4 people who will come to Krishna, 4 people who will not come to Krishna. These 2 homework each one can take. So let's all discuss on the, because important for us to understand. So 10 offense against the holy name and this 4 people who will come, 4 people will not come. This is what Prabhupada discuss. We'll discuss details tomorrow. Yes. Anything else, Lakshmi Mataji?
Nothing, Prabhuji. That's all.
Ramesh Krishna Prabhu, want to say anything? Mariappan Prabhu, any other points?
Hare Krishna. Mainly this 10 offenses, I also I wanted to immediately understand and follow it.
You can go to ISKCON Desire Tree. You can download it. So let's discuss tomorrow detail.
Okay, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Kruti Mataji, anything else? Sridhar Mataji, any points?
Yes, Prabhuji. Actually, Lord has a personal form. Lord has a form. So actually, it is recommended to worship the Tacha Vigraha form only. But if not, if it is not possible, we can worship through sound vibration also. So as Lakshmi Mataji told, we should have good faith towards the spiritual master and the Lord. And here Narada Muni explains how who the 4 types of men who take shelter of the Lord. They are who are in difficulty and who need money, who are advanced in knowledge, and then and also people who are inquisitive to know more and more about the Lord. And there are 4 types of bad men also who take shelter. Those who are simply addicted to mode of progressive fruitive work. Then like that only, like that 4 classes of men are there. They also take shelter of the Lord. The class of men who are known as atheists, no, they don't take shelter of the Lord.
Don't take.
And they don't take.
Yeah.
And they purposely hate the name of the God.
Yeah.
These 4 bad men, they don't believe God, and they don't take the name of the God. And 4 type of men, good men, they take shelter of the Lord because of their little selfishness.
Okay. Varsha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So today the most, the point which highlighted me was spiritual master is one who brings devotees close to Krishna and instead of showing magical powers. But in Madhva Sampradaya, we have heard many stories, Prabhuji, be it Raghavendra Swami or Vadirajuru. We heard so many glories about they helping devotees. So is this any way wrong if they help?
No, see, they are not showing for their name, fame, glories. They are not showing that for any material benefit. See, the mystic power, Madhvacharya did so many mystic power to the extent
Yes.
when that person have taken loan, he comes and asks money with that seed of what is that? This one,
Hunse Kappu.
yeah, tamarind.
Tamarind.
Yeah, so that is because he is a powerful personality. But he has not shown that to make money out of it. The what point Prabhupada is saying today that the society people are there to just to make money and sense enjoyment. That is what condemning.
Okay, Prabhuji, understood. So, and today we understood that we should have faith in God and the spiritual master who we are learning from and progress in bhakti by doing the service of God and the spiritual master. And chanting the holy name is the easiest way to worship God in Kali Yuga. And we learned about God is not formless and he has some form and we can worship in the Ashtavidra. And tomorrow I'll learn more about this offenses and the other thing.
So that's a homework for all of us. Go to ISKCON Desiratory, put 10 offenses, get a list. Let's all come, prepare, discuss on that. Okay, so we'll stop here. Vancha kalpatarabhyasya kripa sindhu bevacha patitana pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo ananta koti vaishnav vrinda ki jai Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai Hare Krishna.
Hare